What's up everybody, Trinity here, and welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Chastity issue number 1 and Chastity issue number 2. Now before I get into that, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff that YouTube tells me to tell you to do. So, like I said, today I'm going to be talking about Chastity issue number 1 and issue number 2. Now obviously this is a new series, it's only 2 issues in, and it's being published by Dynamite Comics. Now this book is being written by Leah Williams. The art is by Daniel Main. It's colored by Brian Valenza and lettered by Carlos M. Mangual, and edited by Matt Idelson. And I'm going to go ahead and show you those names right in there, just in case I butchered any of those names, which I have been known to do from time to time. So, like I said, this book is being published by Dynamite Comics. It's on issue number 2 now. Actually, before I really get into this, I want to tell you guys should go follow my local comic book shop. That's Bases Cards and Comics right here in Lancaster, California. You can follow them on Instagram or even Facebook at Bases Cards and Comics. Now, they didn't sponsor this video or anything. They just actually lent me issue number 2 so I could bring this review to you guys. I bought issue number 1 last month, and I wasn't for sure what I would think about it after reading issue number 1. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, this book is basically about this character here. Her name is Chastity, and what she is she's like a vampire. You could say she's kind of like a female Blade, and her name here, let's see, what's her full name here? Chastity Jack. And what she is she's a half vampire, half human. She gets more strength during the night. She becomes stronger. And what she does for a day job is she is basically a burlesque dancer and a struggling actor. And here we see after she stops some men on a subway in issue number 1, she goes to this audition for a new movie, for a role in this new, what is it? She has an audition for Carnival Orpheus. It's a burlesque show, and that's kind of just like what she does. And so she gets there. The receptionist is kind of rude, and she steps into this room with some of these other actresses who are there to audition for this part as well for this role. So what happens is they're sitting there in this room for quite a while. The temperature's getting kind of hot. She steps up to go get some water. They have a water dispenser there in the room. And as she's there for a while, she's kind of noticing like there's one girl kind of that's passed out, and the other, she notices, she's a vampire, so she notices their heartbeats start slowing. She's like, hey, what's going on here? She starts feeling a little bit funny after drinking some of this water. And it turns out that they have basically been roofied while they were there waiting for this audition. They had the heat cranked up, so it made them want to drink the water, which the water was basically laced with this drug, and they got roofied and they were being passed out. Well, as some of the other ladies are sitting there, one of the girls ends up dying from basically an overdose on this drug, and there's another one that's getting ready to pass out. She's trying to make her come to, like, hey, don't fall asleep, it's going to be all good. Well, while all this is happening, the people who are there basically setting them up step in. This female with a couple of henchmen step up to take all these people and basically to abduct them. And we can see right here where that's all happening. And while that was all happening, Chastity is there trying to fight back. She's like, man, it'll take a horse tranquilizer to take me down. So they're all shooting these tranquilizers at her, and they hit her with a couple of them, and they end up taking her. And that's pretty much all that happens in issue number 1. Now in issue number 2, and I'll go ahead and show you that's the cover for issue number 1. Okay, it was a pretty decent cover. This cover here was done by, this one was the Nick Bradshaw cover here. There was quite a few different covers that they had for the issue number 1. Then we get into issue number 2. I'm going to go ahead and show you this cover here, because this cover right here is absolutely beautiful. I thought this would it looks like a photo. Like that's how good this the cover is here on this one. That one's done by Catherine Nodet. Or Catherine Nodet. I'm pretty sure it's Catherine Nodet. And so basically what we see in issue number 2 is that Chastity has basically been caught up with these other ladies. They have been abducted. They've got caught up in a human trafficking ring. And so we see that they're on a ship, and they are chained up, and Chastity goes ahead and makes an escape. Some of the bad guys, the henchmen come in to have their way with them, if you will. And so she ends up vamping out and like kills a couple of them, and she frees a couple of the girls that are there that were there from the audition, and frees them and says, "Okay, guys, and like we're gonna escape here. We got to get off the ship because they're on the ship like out at sea." And she kind of goes over some ground rules. Just some of the stuff here I thought was a little funny in the writing. She sets these rules, these 5 rules. She says, rule number 1, no one leaves this ship except for us. Rule number 2, we show them no mercy. Okay, now I've got to say right here, rule number 1 and rule number 2 are the same thing. If you're leaving the ship alone, nobody leaves the ship but you, you're showing them no mercy. It means you're killing all the people who are involved. That's what, if you ask me, that's what showing no mercy kind of is. You know, if rule number 1 is nobody's leaving the ship but us, that kind of goes under showing no mercy. I'm not sure where that comes in that. But anyway, she goes on and says, rule number 3 is you follow my lead. Rule number 4, don't ask me any personal questions. And rule number 5 is stay behind me. So Chastity is there. She wants to be in charge. She gets a few of these ladies free as they're going through. They're going to exact some revenge on these people who are in this human trafficking ring. And what they kind of come across as they are escaping is there's plenty of other girls. Like this ship is full of people, other girls who have basically been caught up in this human trafficking scheme, and they're on the ship, and they have a whole group of them here. You know, we can see there's a whole bunch of them. And Chastity's not too happy about that because now she's got even more asses to cover as she's there trying to escape this human trafficking ring that's there on the ship. And what they do is as they're sitting there exacting their revenge, you know, killing all these henchmen and everything, they come across this one that's like, oh, hey, hold up, like, wait, hold on. Like, I'm on your side, please don't kill me. There's a note in my pocket, we'll clear my name. And she searches through his pockets and finds out that he's like an undercover CIA agent. And he's like, hey, you know, it's all good. You just blew 3 months of my cover, you know, you just blew my cover, 3 months of my work and all this stuff. And you know, to me, he seems a little suspect, but, you know, they're going to go ahead and let him live. And that's kind of where this second issue leaves off. Altogether, I thought this story, you know, issue number 1 and issue number 2, they were okay. Issue number 1, I didn't really like too much, just kind of some of the setup and everything. I didn't particularly like in the writing. Issue number 2 is actually pretty good. I read issue number 2 and I was a little more into it. I was like, hey, you know, this may not be so bad. And so, you know, like I said, it still leaves a little bit to be desired. But altogether, the art in the book, it's okay. You know, the art is pretty good. The coloring and everything in it's pretty good as well. Like I said, the story, it's okay. And that's a lot to say because in case you guys haven't been following me here on the channel, I'm not really a big fan of Lee Williams' work. But in this second issue, I mean, it kind of really brought it back and made me think like, hey, this might be something that I would be into. But I don't know, that's just me. Like I said, this book, it's not something for me. I'll probably do some reviews of the next couple of issues thanks to my local comic book shop, and that's Bases Cards and Comics right here in Lancaster, California. You should go give them a follow on Instagram or Facebook, you know, one of those, you know, because they're just an awesome comic book shop. And I do want to thank them once again for lending me issue number 2 to go ahead and read and be able to do this review and do a follow-up review along with this review of issue number 1. But let me know down in the comments below, have you read Chastity? If so, is it something that you think you might be into? Like I said, for me, I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't that great. That's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, give it a thumbs down. It's all good. But while you're at it, make sure you share this video with a friend and invite them to come hang out here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very good day. Happy reading. Go out and support your local comic book shop, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.